Okay, so while we're waiting for others to join, we're just getting started. I thought I would address the importance and value of the one-on-one meeting because there are some kind of pretty amazing things that a lot of people don't know. There was a study done by the US Department of Labor. They surveyed more than 10,000 people who'd quit their job. They asked them one question: why did you quit? The majority of those who responded, it was 64% of the people who were surveyed, said that they left because they didn't feel valued by their employer or manager. It wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the work they did. They simply did not feel appreciated. In my opinion, I believe most employers do value their employees. I think what happens is they just forget to show it. They may have meant to. Maybe a client calls and says what a great experience they had with a certain tech, for example. Maybe Jason, this tech, did a great job, but something happens and maybe a fire needs putting out, and the owner got carried away with that. They went home late. They may have thought when they were driving home, I've got to share with Jason what that client said because he did such a great job. In other words, I got to appreciate him and recognize him tomorrow. But tomorrow you wake up to another fire and you just forget to say anything. So the one-on-one meeting is a space for remembering to value your people. It's a space, obviously, to talk about project status, to focus on results, set goals, performance, coaching, but it's also a space for work and interpersonal issues. It's a space to share how well they're doing. There was another study done by the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley that found that people were 23% more productive when they felt recognized and 43% more productive when they felt appreciated. So I believe that the one-on-one meeting is this place where you can affect this change in your business, where you can reduce employee turnover as well as gain potentially a 43% bump in productivity. And it's so easy to do. You just have to do it. And you have to use the opportunity, obviously when appropriate, to recognize and appreciate your employees. Okay, for those of you who do not already have a TouchStone account, I've created complimentary TouchStone accounts for you, and login instructions will be emailed to you after today's presentation so you can actually start implementing what you've learned. The weekly one-on-one meeting process has already been downloaded. Everything I'm going to show you today has been downloaded into your account. There will also be a link in that email that you get where you can schedule a quick follow-up call with either myself or my support team if you just want a little bit of assistance with setup and implementation. So you'll see that email. It'll come out very shortly. Okay, so let's get started. Processes are kind of boring. So to lighten things up a bit, I thought I wanted to roll out today's presentation as a performance in 3 acts. So to begin, let me lay the groundwork. There are 2 characters in this story. There's a guy, imagine there's a guy named Mark, and he owns an HVAC, plumbing, and electrical company. He's a fairly new Nexstar member. His Nexstar coaches have shared the importance and value of the weekly one-on-one coaching meetings process, so he started using it in his business. There is a second character. She is a woman named Sarah Volt, and Sarah is a fairly new employee. She started with Mark's company maybe a month ago, something like that. She's in the position of service manager. And at this point, she's already been trained in most of her processes, including the weekly one-on-one meeting process. She understands the purpose of the meetings. She understands how often she'll be meeting with Mark. She understands how to prepare for her one-on-ones with Mark, how she needs to complete her form. So in today's performance, I'm going to walk you through how Mark and Sarah both prepare for and complete their weekly one-on-one meetings. There's actually a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot going on. We're not writing the process. We've already done that. The process is written for you. It's downloaded from the Nexstar library. What we're going to do is we're going to implement the process, which basically means we're going to get everything set up. So this is how you would download and make sure that everyone who needs the process knows where to find it. Then in Act 1, Mark's going to actually assign the process. So his new service manager, Sarah, actually comes to the meeting prepared, having completed her one-on-one meeting form. A quick note about the process assignment feature in TouchStone. It's It's designed for guiding someone who reports to you to get something done, to follow a specific process. It's often used for training. I wanted to put it in today's performance because I wanted to show you that it's available to you. But also imagine, Sarah's kind of new. Mark is using it as a gentle reminder to get this form done before she meets with Mark in her one-on-one. So I'm going to say more about that in Act 1. So the next step is Sarah's task of actually completing the process, the one-on-one meeting form that was assigned to her by Mark, and that's going to be in Act 2. And finally, there's the task that Mark takes of updating his coaching log after the meeting so he can actually track what has been discussed in his previous meetings, and that will be Act 3. Okay, so here's the setup. So this will have been something Mark did when he got set up for his weekly one meetings. In this first step, Mark is actually going to log into his TouchStone account. He's going to navigate to the process libraries. He's going to download 2 processes that he needs. One is for everyone, and the other is for those who manage others. And then he's going to link the process to the boxes on the org chart so employees who have that role can find them easily. So this is what actually happens. Mark logs into his TouchStone account and he navigates to the libraries. And you'll notice over here that there's a general process library and there's a Nexstar library. And he's going to scroll down through the Nexstar libraries looking for the 2 processes he needs. One is for everyone, the coaching meetings for everyone, and one is just for managers. So he's downloaded these processes. Now he's going to make this one public so everybody has access to it. And he's going to go down to the manager process and he's going to link the manager process to the managers, the people who have employees that report to them, so that it now becomes linked to that person's box on the org chart. And when that person logs in, they have access to it. And you'll see that in a minute. So in this step, he's basically set everything up. He's got the 2 processes from the library in TouchStone from the Nexstar library, and he's linked it to everybody who needs it. Okay, which now takes us into Act 1. That was the setup. Act 1 is where Mark is actually going to assign the completion of the one-on-one meeting form to one of his reports, Sarah Volt, the service manager. Now remember, Sarah's fairly new. She's been learning lots of new stuff. So Mark thinks, I'm just going to give this gal a break and I'm going to ask her I'm going to assign this process, the one-on-one meeting form, just as a reminder. He probably won't do this in the future because what he's trying to do is build a habit that Sarah will develop. He just wants to help her succeed at this point and gradually help her develop these good habits. So what you're going to see here is Mark's going to log into his TouchStone account. He's going to look for Sarah, the employee who he wants to complete this process. He's going to scan through the processes that have been linked to her, and he's going to find the one-on-one meeting process, and he's going to assign that process. This is Mark logging into his account. So you see president. TouchStone knows he's the president. Under management review, these are all the people that report to him, all the positions and all the people. He clicks on Sarah's name. And this pops up a list of all of the processes that have been used to train Sarah. He goes down to the weekly one-on-one coaching meetings. Now, at this point, he could assign the entire process, but he's already trained her on the form so this form right here, this is how to complete your form. He's already trained her on this form. So he thinks, I don't really need to train her on this form. All I want to do is assign just a piece of the process to her. I just want to assign the one-on-one form. He picks the date of their meeting. So he thinks, I think I'm meeting, 21st? No, I'm meeting on the 20th. And he clicks the send an email verification. And now an email is going to get sent to Sarah. He's typed it in here. Hey, Sarah, just a gentle reminder that we have our one-on-one meeting at 1 p.m. I'm expecting that you'll have completed this form prior to our meeting so we can discuss it. When he clicks this assignment button, that's an email that's going to get sent to Sarah. So he clicks the assignment button and this assigns that process. So you'll see assignment saved successfully. And Sarah is going to get an email and Mark's going to think, well, I think that's it. She should be ready for the meeting tomorrow. Next one, Act 2. in which Sarah receives that email from Mark, her manager, reminding her to complete the one-on-one meeting form for tomorrow's meeting, and she follows through with her process completion. In this case, she's got the email from Mark. It indicates she needs to complete this form by a specific date. She's going to log into TouchStone using her username and password. She's going to see the process that she needs to complete. She's going to click on it, complete the process, and then that will send an email to Mark indicating that she's completed the process. So what does that look like? So she logs in. TouchStone knows that she's the service manager. She clicks on service manager, and here are all of her processes. Notice over here under process assignments, she sees weekly one-on-one coaching meetings. And if she clicks, she sees that it's supposed to be done on the due date of the 20th. She clicks the notes button and sees the email she got. She clicks on the process, weekly one-on-one coaching meetings. Here's the form she needs to complete. She selects it and she starts filling it out. So she fills out her name at the top. And by the way, this is the very form from the Nexstar portal. This is the most current form from the Nexstar portal. You may, if you've been implementing the Nexstar one-on-one meeting, you will see that this is it's the form. So here she writes in, what did you do this week? What activities did you do this week? What observations, insights, or ideas, what did you do to grow this week? And she types in her response, and she basically goes through the entire process. And she writes in stuff like, well, I worked with David to review the most efficient method for updating the 3-day call board. She logged into TouchStone and clicked on the one-on-one manager meeting process and watched the video on how to run my own one-on-one meetings, which will be starting next month. And step by step, she goes through and fills in her form. You'll notice that there are different rocks that she fills in. All of this information for filling in her form. She then clicks Save and Complete. And when that happens, an email goes out to Mark. And you'll notice that when she looks at her assignments, the assignment has moved from assigned to completed assignments. So she's actually finished completing her assignment. And Mark now knows that she's done that. Okay, that then brings us to Act 3, in which Mark has this weekly one-on-one manager meeting. Sarah can actually bring up that form that she completed on a phone or a tablet. She logs into TouchStone, brings it up. They have their one-on-one meeting. Mark can also actually look at that form prior to the meeting. But what we've seen mostly with Nexstar member managers, all they really want to know is, what did we talk about last week? And they require the employee to actually just bring their form and give it to them at the one-on-one meeting. But you can actually look up that one-on-one meeting and read through it before your meeting. Usually what we recommend is that you just go and look at your coaching log. So in Act 3, Marcus had his meeting with Sarah, and he wants to update his coaching log so he can track what they discussed last week. And in the meeting, Sarah shared that she was kind of worried. She was a little bit concerned because her grandmother had COVID. And, she's kind of aging and she's worried. And Mark wants to note this so he can ask her about it next week. So I just want to make a little note here that in this sample, this is showing that he values their relationship because he's recognizing that there's something going on for her in her life. In Act 3, Mark is going to click on his position. He's going to locate the process he wants to complete, and he's going to update and save that process. So what it looks like in TouchStone, Mark logs in. TouchStone knows he's the president. He's going to click on his position and up pop all of his processes. He's going to go to the weekly one-on-one coaching meetings manager, and he's going to go right to the coaching log. And he's saved a series of coaching logs for each of the employees that reports to him. So he clicks on Sarah's name, and up pops the current coaching log for Sarah. So he's had 2 meetings. This is his 3rd meeting. It's today, the 21st. And he's going to type in the information, just a quick note. Sarah mentioned that her grandmother, Sally, had COVID, not doing very well. I want to be sure to ask her about this next week. In this instance, he actually fills in the log and saves it. So next week, he can just pull this up. Remember, he can also go in and look at Sarah's form. If he wants to go back and look at Sarah's form, he can scroll down to Sarah's position, open up her processes, look at her coaching meetings, and he can actually go to her saved forms and open up, the form that she completed on December 19th and read through it. This is the form that I just filled in a moment ago. So he can look at this if he chooses to. Okay, who wants to try it out? All of you have accounts. I know that's a lot, but I just want to show you how actually easy this is to do. Ashley, you want to try it?
Yeah, sure.
And you have Jordan with you, right? Ashley, can you share your screen, please? Okay. Now, to log into your account, your username is your email address, and your password is password. All one word, all lowercase letters. Here we are. First of all, click the 4 key functions tab just above your cursor there and click guiding the business. Notice that those 2 processes have already been downloaded into your account. And because you're logged in as Jordan, way up in the top right-hand corner, see that little gear icon? One more over, yeah. Click user accounts. And you'll see that we've got all of these people in there. Now you're Jordan. So across from Jordan under control panel, click that little pencil and let's make Jordan the president and click manager because he manages people. Update. Great. Now close that box. You can hit done or the X, and across from Ashley, click that and let's make Ashley the operations manager. So click operations manager, update, and then click president and remove assignment. Click remove assignment, remove access, sorry, and update. Okay, now click done. Okay, go ahead and click underneath Coastal at the top left there, click the dashboard. You're logged in. Remember, you are now Jordan, okay? So you're not Ashley, you're Jordan. You're logged in as Jordan and you're president. And there's this operations manager called Ashley. Let's assign the process to Ashley. So go ahead and click on Ashley's name. And you'll see there's the weekly one-on-one coaching meeting. We only got the one process in there. Go ahead and click that. Right now, we're in what we call collapsed view. And that's because we want to make it super simple. If let's assume that you know what's going on, click the custom forms button. And across on the right, click the icon, that one, yeah. Assign custom form. Okay, so when is your meeting with Ashley? Jordan, you're Jordan. So Jordan, when are you meeting with Ashley? 25th, great. Click that and click send an email notification. And here you would send her an email, whatever you want. Make this happen. There you go, assign. Okay, cool. Now go to your dashboard, top left. Notice that there is a little icon beside Ashley because you've assigned something. You remember, you're Jordan. You've assigned something to Ashley. And if you click on Ashley's name, notice over on the right where it says assignments, that's what you've assigned to her. Right now, you've got an email from Jordan, and it's going to say, get this done. Let's log out. So let's log in as Ashley. So top right, yeah, click that, log out. And so Ashley at Coastal HVAC. Ashley, now you're the operations manager. And notice that you now have this icon. Go ahead and click that icon. And now you've got this assignment over there, right? So click the coaching meetings manager and click the employee weekly one-on-one management. And you would fill this form in. So in the save as box at the top, just type in Ashley. And so you would actually fill this form in. You don't have to worry about it. Just click save and complete. Okay. Now go up to operations manager and the cookie crumbs up at the top where it says dashboard operations manager. Notice that your assignment on the right is moved down to completed assignments. And by the way, when you hit save and complete, Jordan just got an email saying you've completed that assignment. Okay. Now let's log out. This is Act 3 that we're going to do now. Sorry, click the little person, yeah, and log out. And let's log in as Jordan. if you click on Ashley's name down at the bottom there, you can see that she's completed her assignment. If you wanted to look at her completed process, click on dashboard. You would click on Ashley's name, click on weekly one-on-one coaching meetings, click on custom forms, and across from that, look at the saved button, the one in the middle. So you could actually pull up her completed form. And if you click on Ashley, you'd see her completed form. You didn't write anything in there, but that's basically her form. So you've now had the one-on-one meeting with Ashley. Go up to the dashboard again, please, top left under the coastal, and click on President, because now we're dealing with your processes, your control panel. As the president, you have the one-on-one coaching meetings. Go ahead and click on the one-on-one coaching meetings. And let's click the document tool. Under the document tool, there's something called a coaching log. Yeah, where it says save as at the top. Yeah, type in Ashley. So this will be Ashley's coaching log. And then in the box where it says coaching log at the bottom and it says enter dates and meeting notes, put your cursor right at the end of that and press enter once or twice, and then put today's date, whatever the date of your one-on-one meeting. And this is where you would write some notes about your meeting with Ashley. Right. And then you click save. And you're done. Basically, you've started to build this coaching log. Next week, you're going to come in here. Let's say your meeting is on next Wednesday. Your next one-on-one is next Wednesday. You're going to probably come in here just before the meeting or Tuesday, and you're going to pull up your saved coaching log. So let's go up to dashboard. Let's pretend we just logged into TouchStone. And you would click President. And you'd click Coaching Meetings. The one-on-one coaching meetings manager. And now if open up the document tool, and across from the document tool, see the save button? Click the save, the actual word saved. Yeah. So all the people that report to you will be listed here as you're saving logs for them. And you'd click Ashley because you're meeting with Ashley. And you could read the notes from your last meeting. And then after you have your meeting, you'll click in there and put in today's notes and save them. So all of your notes that will be sequentially listed as you go through this.
So would we have weekly meetings and touch points that would be logged as well as like annual reviews as well? Like, is that
Sure.
just where we create more?
So let me show you. Go to 4 key functions. So click guiding. And go up to the library process, the libraries there, and click that, and click general processes. And scroll down till you see, is it employee annual? There it is, employee evaluations. Click that and click copy. So this is another process, Ashley. It's not your one-on-one process. It's your employee evaluations process. And I would probably, why don't you drag it down and put it under management, because it's really a management process. And then select it, employee evaluations. Go ahead and click on employee evaluations. And see the link button in the middle of your screen up there? It says P checkmark link. Go up a little bit. Click the link button. This would open up your org chart, and you'd create your own org chart. And if you select president, this is going to link this process to the president's position. And then you can close that if you like. Let's say the president does all of your employee evaluations. Now go to your dashboard, top left under coastal. And you'll notice when you click on president, you now have 2 processes. If you click on president, now you have the employee evaluations and the weekly coaching meetings. And if you click on your organization chart on the left under 4 key functions, you build your own org chart. It's very simple to do, but that's not the purpose of today's presentation. But if you now click on president, you'll see that your org chart becomes this dynamic tool that is linking processes to positions and linking employees to positions. This is just another view of what you're seeing when you clicked your position under the dashboard. It's just a separate view. But the thing that makes TouchStone unique is this integration of people, processes, and positions.
So if I can break it down for my mind, if I may, basically TouchStone is a link through Nexstar that is we can just track all of our, whether it's a daily huddle, a weekly one-on-one, or your annual reviews or your quarterly reviews. So it looks like all the templates are already in here. We just need to assign the titles to, like, our people to the titles that they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then this will just kind of log it and automate it a little bit for us.
Yeah, but
But
it's not just reviews. You could do a ride along process. You could do the meet or prepare, meet, greet, present, etc. All of your processes for your entire business, for your techs, for your installers, for your managers, for your bookkeeper, all of your processes can go into TouchStone. It basically is your playbook, all of your intellectual property, all in one place, everything linked to specific boxes and people linked to those boxes to make it so much easier to train and manage your employees.
for the org chart, like if we have one already, can we upload it or do we
Oh,
need to link it
simple.
through?
Let's say that you wanted to pick a position here that you want. Let's change technician to HVAC technician. Just click on that, go up to where it says technician, put in a new name, HVAC tech, and hit save. And then go back to your org chart.
Okay.
Let's say that you wanted the HVAC, the customer support person, that customer support, drag it over. Everything's drag and drop in TouchStone. You can add new positions. You can drag that over to manager of sales, for example. You can edit, you can add. Yeah. So
Okay.
super flexible. And what's really cool about TouchStone is that you will actually use your org chart for strategically growing your business. You will use your org chart for solving frustrations. You will be changing things around. It's always here. You don't have to find some Word or PowerPoint presentation. It's always here. And what we recommend is that you create the org chart of the vision of your company, say your 3-5-year plan. You've probably worked that out with your Nexstar coaches, your strategic coach at Nexstar. We recommend actually creating the organizational structure of that future plan. And you can put employees in multiple positions. So let's say, for example, you have a dispatch position and a CSR position in the future, but right now you don't have the revenue to support having a separate person in each one of those boxes. You would put that person in 2 boxes. So it's position specific. It's not people. There is no position called Ashley. Ashley might be the president and the operations manager for the time being. So Ashley would have 2 job descriptions.
That makes sense. I think it will take time to kind of play around and get my bearings straight in it.
Of course, yeah. I threw you right into the deep end today, Ashley, but there's an email with a link to schedule some time with me, and you can create your org chart, or you can send your org chart to us and we'll build it for you. It takes us about 15 minutes. It's just a little bit of grunt work. You can send me some existing processes. We'll build them in your account for you. You have a 30-day trial now to try to get a feeling for the value of TouchStone. I want to say one couple of things, and then we'll wrap it up with any other questions. Something that Ashley was bringing up was, there's this process that we have, and it's just one of many processes that are available to you. But building a process-dependent business is much, much more than just having a bunch of processes written. You really need a process implementation tool and a process implementation plan. A process implementation tool, some people use Word. Some people use SharePoint. Some people use Google Docs. There are other tools out there that claim that they are process implementation tools. Almost everything that you'll see out there is really a notebook. They are document sharing applications. TouchStone is a tool that was designed with process implementation from the very get-go. It's a very valuable tool. So when you're creating a process-dependent business, there are 2 things you need. You need a process implementation tool and a process implementation plan. What makes TouchStone kind of unique is that it integrates your processes, your positions, or the boxes on your org chart, and your people, your employees, processes, positions, and it integrates them all so that when someone logs in, they see a position-specific operating manual. Everything that they will be trained in and everything that they will be held accountable to is right there. So there's complete clarification on what someone is supposed to do and what are the expectations of someone in that position and how to achieve the expectations. I did a webinar last Wednesday on the 5-step implementation plan. I mentioned a moment ago, you need a process implementation tool and you need a process implementation plan. We've been doing this for 20 years, a little more than 20 years. And if any of you have heard about Michael Gerber and the whole eMyth series of books, Shannon and I were both master certified eMyth coaches, and we delivered the eMyth mastery program for 17 years. And then we pivoted to become a software company. We do not put ourselves out as coaches or consultants anymore. We are very much tacticians. But in those 20 plus years of systematizing businesses, we've synthesized process implementation down to a simple 5-step program. It's not rocket science, but because of our experience, that's why we've made it simple. It actually begins with vision. Then we take that vision and we build the org chart. Then we identify all of your processes. We get everything linked. And then we prioritize the writing of processes. We call this program the Systemscaping program because it's kind of like designing the landscape of your systematized business. And together, we build the foundation of your process-dependent business so that you have a plan in place to execute things. In January, I'm going to be running a group Systemscaping program for Nexstar members. I'll get an email out to you on this. If you're interested, you'll see a link in the email. Let me know if you're interested. I can only take 10 companies at a time when I do this as a group. You're the first people who have heard about this. I haven't told any other Nexstar members. So if you get your email and you say, tell me more about that Nexstar members only, I hope to have a button in that email that you get probably tomorrow or the next day when I publish this presentation. I'll send you the link so you can watch it again. But if you're interested, let me know, because you'll have the first access to getting into this program just for Nexstar members. And it'll be great because we'll have somewhere between 8 and 10 companies together. And, it's all about sharing in Nexstar. That's one of the things Shannon and I, we were at a strategic partner meeting last month. And what we really saw is how important it is to share content. We're even going to build a Nexstar members library that you can link to. Are there any questions?
How much is the
TouchStone?
Yeah.
$149 a month, unlimited users, month by month. There's an annual agreement, which takes it down to $120, and then you get that rebate so it's not really $149. I think you get another $15 or $20 rebate from Nexstar. So it's less than $149 a month. Month by month, unlimited users, unlimited support.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. And let us know if you have questions.